Holy shit. Now, that's how you end the season. So season 5 of The Walking Dead has just finished. I've already done a review for the season premiere as well as the mid-season finale. So here's my review for the season finale of The Walking Dead. This was the episode Conquer. What a great name for that episode. Now before I get started, obviously, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about the finale for season 5 of The Walking Dead. So if you haven't seen it, please go and watch the episode before you watch this video. So anyone who's still here, I assume you have watched it or you just don't care. So let's move on. So a heap of things happened this episode, but I'll start with the one that most people probably want to hear me talk about, and that is Morgan, who from some time since the last time that we saw him has gone to Jedi school. Morgan has changed so much since the last time that Rick saw him. Last time we really got a good glimpse of Morgan, he was just batshit crazy, and Rick was pretty sane at that point. And it's funny how this episode, it's completely flipped. Right at the end of the episode, Rick and Morgan see each other. I don't want to get too much into what happened at the end right now, but let's just say Rick kills someone, looks up and sees Morgan, and Morgan just has this shocked look on his face because he's just seen Rick kill someone. Rick's looking up at Morgan like, oh my god, Morgan. And Morgan's looking at Rick like, oh my god, Rick. What have you done? It's just, that was a crazy moment to see. I love how they've just flipped the characters around. It's so good. And I bet these character changes are going to lead into the next season. They're actually going to talk about it a bit, I reckon. It's just so great seeing Morgan back. I've always liked Morgan. He's just a fan favourite character. It's hard to understand why, because he's only been in a couple of episodes. But it's just, because he was back in the first episode of The Walking Dead. He's the first guy that Rick sees after waking up in the hospital. You only see Morgan a couple times, but each of those times you just like the guy because he's just a good guy. Even if the last time we really saw him he was batshit crazy, he was still a good guy. Because in that episode, the poor guy just lost his son. Of course he's going to lose his shit. He just lost the only guy left. Morgan's just an awesome character and I can't wait to see him more in the next season. Let's just hope he doesn't die in episode 1. So let's move on to Daryl and Aaron. So obviously, Daryl's position at the safe zone is going out with Aaron, scouting for new people to bring back with them. Because Daryl's a really good judge of character, just like Aaron. I loved the bromance going on between these two guys. Daryl would be one of my favourite characters in The Walking Dead. He's just so awesome, and he's got a really cool friendship going with Aaron. But Daryl and Aaron end up following this guy they find, go back to this place, has all these big food trucks, and then the guys decide they're going to try and scavenge some supplies for Alexandria people. But they don't realise that in these food trucks are a heap of walkers with W's on their heads. Let me just say it, this trap that the wolves set was absolutely incredible. It's so smart. They have these big food trucks which anyone that goes past are going to think there's heaps of food in there and try and get stuff for their groups. But then they get too close and all the doors open up with heaps of walkers. And it's hard to outrun a big horde of walkers. The people who the walkers are chasing probably will get killed by the walkers. And then they get turned into more walkers, and then there's more walkers for the traps. And if you try and escape, there's a certain car that Daryl and Aaron try to get into, and then Aaron finds a note in the glove box that says, this car is a trap, get out. It's just, everything's so worked out well. I'm looking forward to seeing what other tricks they have. Well, not really looking forward to it, I don't want anything to happen to our group. But I like the way they think. These two wolves guys who got their ass kicked by Morgan at the start of the episode, which I hadn't mentioned already, was awesome. These two guys, they had the guy that Daryl and Aaron were following, and then they slit his throat. And then one of the wolves guys presses a button that plays this loud music, lights flashing, and it lures all the walkers back into the food trucks. It's just such a well done plan. So in the episode, Daryl and Aaron get into this car when they were trying to get away from these walkers, and then they realise it's a trap, and then they decide to try and get out. I was so worried that Daryl was going to die because he was going to be on the finale episode of The Talking Dead. Daryl and Carol were both going to be on The Talking Dead, so I was so worried that one of them was going to die. Then neither of them died. Matter of fact, no one in our group died. Yeah, there was a couple of deaths near the end of the episode, but there wasn't anyone in our group. And that was such a good thing to see. So when Daryl said he was going to try and lure these walkers while Aaron got away, I was like, oh shit, Daryl's gonna die. Because he's such an awesome and popular character, probably the most fan favourite character in all of The Walking Dead, they wouldn't just kill Daryl like they did Tyrese and just randomly get bitten and then know they're gonna die. I reckon Daryl will die at some point. It'll piss people off, but they need to do big moments like that. And I reckon Daryl will die because they're trying to make it more like the comics. So Daryl isn't even in the comics. Lately in this season, all the bigger characters they've been getting rid of have either not been in the comics, like Beth or Noah, or they're already dead, like Tyrese. So I reckon if Daryl died, it would either be by some real crazy death, like a big name villain kills Daryl in like a big scene, or Daryl sacrifices himself in a real heroic way. We'll all be upset that Daryl dies, but at least we'll know he went out as a hero. When he was willing to kind of sacrifice himself for Aaron, I was like, oh shit, Daryl's gonna die. But then he didn't because Morgan saved Aaron and Daryl. So that was perfect. We didn't lose Daryl and we got another awesome moment with Morgan. One last thing about when Daryl was in the car. When he went to start having a cigarette, like all I could think of was that scene back in season 3 with his brother Merle sitting in the car having a drink and he was like teasing the zombies and stuff. When he was like teasing the walkers in the car. Or that's all I could think of when I saw Daryl having a cigarette. And again, that was something else that made me worried Daryl was going to die because I'm pretty sure it was that episode with Merle where he died. He did something good because I'm pretty sure that was the moment where he'd let Michonne go. He was just sitting in the car just enjoying life for a moment, I guess. And then it wasn't long after he died. And then unfortunately at the end of the episode, once Aaron and Daryl got away with Morgan, Aaron left his bag which had pictures of all the safe zone and Rick, Carl and the rest of the group. So yeah, the wolves are coming. So let's move to the safe zone. Carol. I gotta mention Carol before I talk about any other moments. Carol, I loved that scene with her and Pete. That was so good. She was all nice, comes over to Pete's place, asks him to like check up on Tara. And then she gets a knife out and she's like, I could kill you, you know, and I could get away with it because it'd be self-defense. Oh, Carol's changed so much. I absolutely love it. That was a thing that Carol really needed to do because it was like standing up to her abusive husband in season 1. This was the perfect moment. I absolutely loved it. Probably one of my favourite moments in the episode. It was just so good, so well done. Well done to Melissa McBride, and not just this episode, but just in the last few episodes especially. She's just an amazing actress. Now before I get to the big moment near the end, let's talk about Glenn and Sasha, who both kind of had a big moment near the end where they could have killed some annoying dickbag. Let's start with Sasha, where Sasha has been having some issues in the last few episodes and she's pretty much ready to die. So at the end of the episode she goes and sees Father Gabriel, who's just, he's got issues. Gabriel walks out of the safe zone, he sees a walker devouring this poor guy and he pretty much lets himself get taken by the walker because God has his back. And then the last second he changes his mind, kills the walker, and then he kills the poor guy who the walker was tearing apart, the poor guy. God did have Gabriel's back because I don't think Gabriel's killed many people or walkers yet. As well as I think God had his shirt's back as well because yeah, there should have been some blood on that shirt. Gabriel killed a walker and a guy and I'm pretty sure he should have had some, even just one drop of blood in his shirt, but that shirt just stayed white. I'm being nitpicky, but I know a lot of you thought that too. But then near the end of the episode, Sasha goes to the church and says to Gabriel that she thinks she's ready to die. And Sasha obviously doesn't realise that Gabriel had ratted them all out to Deanna because I don't think Maggie told anyone. But Gabriel says to her, you do deserve to die because what you've been doing is just bad. Sasha ends up attacking Gabriel, puts her gun to his head, but luckily Maggie comes in and stops her. And then you realise Gabriel has some issues, and I actually kind of felt bad for Gabriel. Like, I know a lot of people have issues with Gabriel because of like just how irritating he is and the fact that he ratted out our group. But I don't hate him as much as everyone else seems to because I can understand why he feels like he does. Like, he's this Christian guy, he's still just not used to it all, and he's just a guy, he doesn't like seeing death, he doesn't like seeing all this kind of stuff. It's happening all around him. It's me messing with his head. And he's got issues of his own of the things that he did in the past, and I can understand why he does the things that he does. I still don't like him. When I mentioned Gabriel in my mid-season finale review, I reckon I said I liked him. But yeah, I don't really like him that much. I can kind of see where he's coming from though. But as for Nicholas, the guy who Glenn could have killed, and I really wish that Glenn had killed him. Oh my god, let me just start by saying I hate Nicholas. I absolutely hate Nicholas. I can tolerate Gabriel, but Nicholas I hate. The first second I saw him, he wasn't even doing much. I just didn't like him. I just had a bad vibe from him. And yeah, did not like him at all. So for him to do what he did to Glenn, my favourite character on The Walking Dead, he almost killed Glenn, and surprisingly enough, I think Glenn should have died. Not that I want Glenn to die, but he got out of some pretty crazy situations in this episode. So Nicholas jumps the fence of the safe zone and Glenn follows him. Obviously it's a trap. Glenn gets out into this forest and then gets shot in the shoulder by Nicholas. So Glenn goes down and you're like, oh shit. And then later in the episode, Glenn sneaks up on Nicholas, Glenn takes him down, they get a few punches in. So 3 walkers come in and Nicholas is able to escape while 3 walkers start attacking Glenn. And at that point I'm like, yeah, Glenn's gone. And I was so upset at that point. And then later in the episode you see Glenn sneak up on Nicholas again and take him down a few punches, and this time puts a gun to his head. And yeah, I think like a lot of you are thinking, how the hell did Glenn get out of all those walkers? I just hope in the start of the next season Glenn doesn't reveal that he was bitten. Because Glenn did have blood over his face and stuff. Who knows what happened? It didn't show it happen. I'm hoping he didn't get bitten. I'm sure if Glenn, being a real popular character, got bitten, I think they would have showed that in the episode. Mind you, I don't think Glenn's going to die just yet. I know about comic stuff, and I'm pretty sure Glenn's not going to die until a bit later when certain particular someone comes onto the show. But Glenn puts the gun to Nicholas's head, and I bet every single person that was watching The Walking Dead was doing what I was doing, yelling at your screen like a crazy lunatic, going, shoot him! Shoot him! And Glenn did not shoot him. Yeah, he really should have shot him. That's going to come back to bite Glenn in the arse in the next episode. I really hope Nicholas dies early on next season. I'm pretty sure he will. Maybe. So moving on to what happened in the final episode with Rick, Deanna and the porch stick. Rick wakes up, patched up from his fight with Pete, and he finds out that Deanna is trying to get people together to discuss whether they should get rid of Rick. And Rick obviously wants to plead his case, and all his group definitely are trying to help him out with that. But there's a moment in the episode where Spencer, Deanna's son, is watching the gate. Gabriel comes in and Spencer asks Gabriel to close the gate. It just shows how little they know about what's happening. Don't just ask some guy you hardly even know to close the gate. I know he's like this churchy priest dude and you probably can trust him. You don't trust him. You don't trust anyone in a zombie apocalypse. So when he said, Gabriel, can you close the gate? You knew exactly what's going to happen. Gabriel doesn't even worry about it that much. He closes it and then it opens back up so walkers can get in. So Rick goes after a couple walkers before he goes to the meeting. And that was a pretty cool scene with Rick against the walkers, putting the gun into the walkers and then blowing it and then, yeah. Rick gets just covered in blood. And then at the end of the episode, Rick just looks as crazy as ever, walks in holding one of the walkers he killed, just drops in front of everyone, and that would have been a crazy sight for everyone to see, because I don't think many of them have seen that many walkers, because they've just been safe in Alexandria. So, I love their reaction to it. You see people go, oh! That was really funny. I love the speech that Rick has. I absolutely love the bit where Rick's like, I was thinking, how many of you do I have to kill to save your lives? But I'm not going to do that. You're going to change. I absolutely love that scene. I love the look in his group's face when he said that. And then Pete comes in and he's taking Michonne's katana. And poor Reg. Poor Reg. He comes in to try and just stop Pete. Reg is such a nice guy. He's the nicest guy in Alexandria. So clearly he's the one who has to die. In a real gory way too. Pete accidentally, bullshit, slices Reg's throat. Deanna's holding her dying husband, just crying, oh my love, my love. Abraham's able to hold Pete down. Pete's trying to get away and stuff. And then Deanna looks up at Pete and she's just like, do it. And without any hesitation, Rick turns, bang, shoots Pete in the head. That was so cool, that scene. You can see how much Rick has changed. He did not hesitate at all. Just turned and shot him in the head. And then that's the moment which I mentioned before where he looks up and Morgan's just staring at him. Morgan's just witnessed Rick kill someone. That's so unlike Rick to Morgan. The only times Morgan's seen Rick, he's seen Rick as a good guy. So to see Rick covered in blood, just shooting this guy just straight in the head without any hesitation. That, like I said, I reckon it's going to go into next season where, because Morgan has changed completely and he thinks that all life is like precious now. So just to see Rick shoot this guy in the head, yeah, there's going to be some issues there at the start of the season. But I don't care, it's just good to see Morgan back. That was just an awesome way to end the season. So let's move on to what I've thought of just this season as a whole. I've really enjoyed it. There's been so many good moments in this season. I have loved pretty much every episode since they got to Alexandria. Yeah, even the episode where Noah died. Oh, that sucked, that episode. But it was well done. It was a really good episode. One of the best episodes of the season. It was just hard to watch. Because I really like Noah. But that episode aside, all the other episodes were just so cool episodes. But that episode when Noah died, there were cool moments. And like, I loved it in the van. And they had Internet Friends by Knife Party playing. Because that's one of the like best songs with heaps of bass that I've heard. So for that song to be playing in the band, that's like a song that would drag walkers out easy. Because I know how good that song is and how loud and just boom 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 that song is. So it was just the perfect song to play and I got this big smile on my face when I started hearing it because I was listening to that song so much not long before I watched that episode. So it was just so good to hear it. If anyone wants to hear it, I'll link the YouTube video for the song in the description because I just love that song. There's also a VIP version of that song which I'll link as well because I actually like that version better than the original. I'm sorry, I'm going a bit off track. Let's go back to the actual episodes of this season. So that episode when Noah died, sad episode, but well done. Just all the episodes of Alexandria be my favourite episodes of the season, as well as, you know, the church massacre back in the early episodes of this season. Oh, I still love that moment. One of the things I loved was seeing Rick shave. He finally got rid of that freaking beard and and he just looked like season 1 Rick again. I'd love season 1 Rick. He looked so much better in season 1. So it brought back all these memories of season 1. It was so great. Hey, I noticed something funny though. So when Shane shaved his head back in season 2, he kind of went crazy. You know, with all the head rubbing and crap. And then in this season, Rick shaves his beard and not long after that, he does some pretty crazy things. Like, obviously he'd been crazy before, like, you know, Joe's throat and everything. But still, he'd done some pretty crazy things after he shaved, and it just reminded me of Shane shaving his head. Rick shaved his beard. He's turning into Shane. Just this season, it's been really good. All the Alexandria stuff, it's just been really well done. I've loved these episodes. The second half of the season has been really good. There's been some real sad deaths this season though. There were so many characters I like who died this season. It was so sad. It's like, I liked Bob, dead. I liked Tyrese, dead. I liked Beth, dead. I liked Noah, dead. And I liked poor Reg, dead. I'm just glad Glenn and Daryl didn't die. This is probably one of, if not my favourite season of The Walking Dead so far. So I'm really looking forward to next season. So talking about next season, what do I think is going to happen next season? Well, so now I want to go into comic spoilers a little bit. So in a sec I'm going to put a comic spoilers tag up here. So yeah, definitely just watch out for this. So if this is up, just mute your video or something because I want to talk about spoilers from the comics. If you don't mind, yeah, keep watching. So here's the tag now, so I'm going to talk about comic spoilers. Now I haven't read too much further into the comics, but what I've just read in the comics was when this big moment with Carl happened. I've been seeing so many things about, oh my god, do you think they'll do what they did to Carl in the comics? And for a while I was like, I wonder what that is. But I was worried, and then one of the latest comics I read, it was the thing that happened to Carl, where I'm not really going to do much because I don't want people who have got this on mute to really realise what I'm talking about. But yeah, Carl gets shot in the face, and yeah, that was pretty creepy, that bit. I don't think that's going to happen in the show, but it might. What I remember, after the stuff with Rick and Pete happened, from what I remember, Rick does kill Pete in the comics as well. And I reckon what's going to happen next is that Deanna's realised that she doesn't know shit about what's happening. So she'll let Rick become in charge of the safe zone. That's what I reckon is going to happen. Rick said, once they got to Alexandria, that if they don't like the way they are, then we'll just take this place. I reckon that's what's going to happen. Like, Deanna and those safe zone people will still be around. Rick and everyone else will be in charge now. Because Rick knows what he's doing. He does go around it a funny way, but he does know what's happening. So Rick would be better in charge. So I reckon that's what's going to happen later on. And as for something else that happens later on, I'm talking about when more walkers get into the safe zone. They kill Morgan, they kill Jesse, and they kill Jesse's son. They kill Deanna's equivalent in the comics. I'm pretty sure it was Douglas, his name, in the comics. But yeah, Douglas gets killed as well. So Deanna will probably die next season. That's why I said earlier in this video I'm worried about Morgan dying, just because I know what happens in the comics with him. And yeah, Jesse could die. I really hope not. I really like Jesse. I haven't mentioned her yet, but I love Jesse. I love Alexander Breckenridge. I've seen her on so many things, and I just hope she stays around for a long time, because I just really like her. But yeah, so that good stuff could happen in the comics. That'd be more likely to happen than Carl getting shot in the face and surviving. But it could happen. They might just not show it as gory. Mind you, Noah's death was pretty gory, so they could. I don't think they're going to show Carl with half his face blown off. So yeah, that's pretty much all the comic book spoilers, because I'm not that much far. Like, I'm not even at Negan yet. I know about Negan, but I'm not there yet. Negan comes in issue 100. I'm at the issue where Carl's woken up after getting shot in the face, but he has like no memories. He has no emotions. He was asking where his mum is, and he didn't even know who Judith was. So I'm at that where Rick's having problems with Carl just not being like a kid anymore. He's all grown up. He just has no emotion anymore. That's where I'm at in the comics. I'm pretty sure Negan will be around soon, and I'm not looking forward to it because I know that he kills Glenn. So I'm worried that's what's going to happen in the comics, but you know, they could change it. They might kill someone else. Who knows, Nicholas might be the one that gets the baseball bat in the head by Negan. So I really hope that happens. Alright, comic book spoilers are over. I hope I didn't just spoil a heap of stuff for people. Yeah, so this season was just awesome season. Absolutely loved it. Great finale. Probably one of the best finales they've had, if not the best finale. It was so enjoyable. I've just loved this season. I cannot wait to see what happens later on. I give this season a 4.5 out of 5. It was just excellent. It was a really well done season. So have you seen the season finale of The Walking Dead? What did you think of it? What was your favourite part in this episode? Or if not, just this whole season? Because it's been a lot of good moments. Whatever you think, comment below and let me know. And of course, if you like what you've seen and you want to see more, click right here to see more.